Welcome to Sports Today. After a few crusading days on women's cricket, we are back with our special series History at the Ages Bowl. Two great teams, two great leaders, two great captains, two great batsmen. This is almost a stuff of fan fancy, isn't it? It is a stuff of fan fancy. Virat Kohli versus Kane Williamson. Now, all of them will say, oh, no, cricket is a team game, 11 players. Why are you talking about one individual? All that is fine. But it is a fact. It is a fact that it is about captains as well. How can you deny the impact of two incredible leaders and two incredible batters who will have a tremendously important role to play in the final of the WTC? And having seen both, it is important to analyze them both as batsmen, and it is important to analyze them both as leaders. Now, we will play clips as well. I will take questions. We will play a clip from Kane Williamson where he talks about the WTC final. I will play a clip from my interviews with Virat Kohli where he's actually talking about ICC competitions and how important an ICC competition is for him. We will do all that. But let's build it up. Let's try and build it up because that's how you will be able to understand these two characters better. So, history is only created by people who have the ability to create history, and that's what the Ages Bowl will see. These are two mega stars of our era. Now, Virat. Now, I have actually seen Virat from literally from day one of his international career and followed him very closely. I will tell you certain milestones how I have seen him evolve as a leader. Let's take Virat Kohli, the cricketer, first. And I will take you to Australia in 2011-12. Virat Kohli in the first two test matches, Melbourne, India, what an incredible opportunity that test match was. Fantastic start by India, then multiple dropped catches, covered it. Sachin Tendulkar, brilliant with his 70 odd. Virendra Sehwag, Rahul Dravid. Virat Kohli was nowhere. I mean, he wasn't in that zone. Second test match in Sydney, yet again, Virat Kohli was nowhere. Third test match in Perth, and Virat Kohli had receded into a cocoon, where if you go and ask him, he will tell you that it is always about self-doubt. And he was actually getting into that space where he started doubting himself as a performer. The question was, does he belong there? The same question that Sachin Tendulkar had asked himself in 1989-1990. Does he belong there? And then that Perth 75. India was all out for 170. David Warner smashed the daylights out of the Indians. But India was all out for 170. But Virat Kohli, with that 75 in Perth, had indicated to everybody that he actually belongs there. And in the next test match, yet again, India lost, was thrashed in Adelaide, but Virat got 100. And that 100 actually marked the arrival of a Virat Kohli. If you see the way he reacted after the 100, and I will fast forward from there on, he had a very good, white ball series in Australia, smashed Sri Lanka, taking India to the final and all that. But just about a month or so after, I'll take you to Mirpur, where Virat Kohli was playing against Pakistan. Saeed Ajmal was then a phenomenon. Sachin Tendulkar had just completed his 100th against Bangladesh. That match against Pakistan, Sachin made a 50 and Virat got 183. And after the 183, and this is in my book, this is perhaps one of the most important moments in a Virat Kohli career. After the 183, and Rohit Sharma, if I remember, was very good with a 69. Now, after the game in Mirpur, the press box is diametrically opposite the pavilion. So Virat Kohli started walking out, and it was close to midnight, 11 past. So Virat Kohli came out of the pavilion, and he had to cross the grounds where all of us were there to, finish the press conference and interview and all that. Just a little bit into it, all of a sudden he stopped because on our right, there was this block of fans who were screaming Virat, Virat. So he went to those fans and started signing autographs. Now, all of us could see it from the other end of the ground that here's this guy who's gone there and started signing autographs. And he came to us, this is 2012, believe you, and it said to us that, oh, first thing he said was, I'm sorry. Now, all of us had come to sort of see Virat Kohli as this aggressive, hot tempered, temperamental fellow, had shown his middle finger in Australia and all that. Now, the first thing he said was, I'm sorry, I know you guys have deadlines, but when fans, wait for you for an hour, it is only important, sort of fair that I go and spend a bit of time with them and make them smile. And it was a revelation, that statement, to each one of us. And we realized that the real birth of Virat Kohli, the captain, had started. The real birth of Virat Kohli, the leader, had started. Here was a mature man after what he had been through in Australia. And I remember the Indian team manager was this guy called Satish. And I went and told Satish that, the television broadcasters, can we interview Virat? And there was obviously a gag. Satish said, if he's agreeable, it's fine. I went up to Virat and said, Virat, 183 against Pakistan is a big thing. Will you talk to each one of us? Not much time, 3 questions each, because it's very important. We also celebrate you, and this is important for us. And he remembered, and he said, "Ha, Dada, no problem. Aap bagal wala room mein set up kar lo, but no one should ask 3 questions. As you can understand, I've been through a long day." And it was tremendous. It was tremendous. And that was my first real interaction, one-on-one interview kind of thing with Virat Kohli, which I had sort of set up for everybody. And each of us did it. Then fast forward, and the Virat Kohli captaincy era, when MS gave up, dealing with the whole Phil Hughes, dealing with the whole all of that, and it's incredible. And he became a leader. Then 2016, when he was having that phenomenal run in the IPL, and I spoke to him and he said, I'm like this. And by the way, he was supposed to do the interview at 6 p.m. at the ITC Shonar Hotel. And he calls at 2 to 6 and he says, I'll be 5 minutes late because I've got to arrange for security to come down. Now think about it. Virat needed security to walk from one part of the hotel to another. He came down and I said, so how much time do you have? And he said, "Nay, I had promised you this, so you do it." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, you want 1 hour, 2 hours, you do it." And that's when he first said that he's like this monk in a civil society, which became viral, that statement. And then 2018, he launches my book, and I remember the IPL opening ceremony was in Mumbai. And I was panicking that opening ceremony was that particular day. He had given me time around noon. So how will he launch it? And he said, मैंने आपको जब promise किया है मैं करूंगा तो मैं करूंगा. आप फालतू का चिंता क्यों कर रहे हो? आप plan करो. And Saurav and Virat launched 11 Gods in a Billion Indians again at the ITC. He was supposed to get picked up by me at noon, and he was right there at the lobby of the next hotel, the Marriott. And I picked him up. He came to the ITC, was there for 2 hours, and it said to me, 2:30 बजे practice है, आप दो घंटा आप रख लो, उसके बाद छोड़ देना. It was surreal, I mean, what this guy was doing. And then the fitness cult. The fitness cult, if he commits to you, and then the fitness cult. I mean, I remember this after India had lost to England in the World Cup, match in Edgbaston. I was in the elevator. We were staying in the same hotel, the Hyatt Regency in Birmingham. And Virat comes in with this big bunch of mineral water bottles. And I asked him, what are you doing? And he saw me. He said, "Aap बहुत tired दिख रहे हैं दादा, you go and sleep." And I said, "You have played a game." He said, "Yeah, I'm going to the gym." I said, "Gym at 10:30 at night?" And he said, "Yeah, if you ask me to play another game, I'll be able to play it." And I was actually sort of thinking to myself that this is an unbelievable character. Patrick Farhat told me, you actually go and ask him. He has had one cheat meal, not a cheat day, one cheat meal in 4 years. And that too, he had thrown the top part of that burger, which he had after scoring 235 against England at the Wankhede. This is the cult of fitness that he has now brought in the Indian team. So when we talk of a leader, this fellow is. He messed up in England in 2014, 134 runs, 10 innings. Jimmy Anderson had his measure. Came back, went to Sachin, trained with Sachin for a period. And then Australia, 4 matches, 400s. When he went back in 2018, all of us know all ego was shunted out. There was acceptance that Jimmy Anderson is a great bowler. Kept leaving, got hit, got beaten, 300s. When you have a leader like that, and trust you me, he will want this trophy like no other. No other. This will be the first ICC trophy under him, and it can be an incredible journey after having been at the top of world test cricket for a while. A format that he told me, actually, he said, if you really want to create legacy in international sport, in international cricket, this is the format, and that's why it's called test match cricket. Now, this man is pitted against someone who is equally good. A country with what, some 500 something thousand people, 5 lakh 25 million, sorry, 50, some million people, 50 million people, whatever it is. They have the best captain, the best team, the best bowler. Clearly, this man is doing something right. This man is a huge inspiration for everybody in the world, whether it is his cool demeanor, whether it is the way he conducts himself, whether it is his ability with the bat, whether it is his ability to lead. Think about the way Kane Williamson has led New Zealand over the years. As batter and as leader, he is one of the biggest role models that we can possibly get. Unbelievable. And whether it is the World Cup final, someone who after losing that World Cup final could keep his composure, someone who could still behave in that extremely mature manner. No doubt Kane Williamson is the best batsman of our era along with Virat and Steve. But as leader, Kane Williamson is of a very different level. So when we talk about the World Test Championship final, it pits two of the greatest of our era. I'll pause there. I'll play a clip from Kane Williamson, and I'll play a clip. Let's hear the Kane Williamson clip, and I'll come back and talk to you about my personal interactions with Kane Williamson, and then we'll keep building. And obviously, I will take some questions. Trisha, can we have the clip, please?
It's exciting to play in a final of the first Test Championship. You know, at the same time, I think adding the Test Championship context to Test cricket's been a really interesting move, and I think we've seen that more so in the last, or in recent months, where I think sides have perhaps made plays to try and benefit their opportunity to advance themselves into a final, and I think that's really exciting. And you know, from our team's perspective, it is exciting. In terms of my leadership, it's probably easier to ask teammates. You know, for me, it's always looking to move the team forward as best as I can. Certainly, working alongside a number of other leaders in our group, and you know, I think it's really important that each member feels that they belong and has a real role to play, and we're trying to just work towards a common goal, and that is, you know, truly a focus. And I think when you get buy-in for that, then it gives you a pretty good opportunity to I suppose maximize your ability.
Both these men, as I said, are on the cusp of history. I mean, did you see the measured way in which this man talks? No occasion overawes him. No occasion is too big. And that is why he's one of the greatest that we have, Kane Williamson. The way he conducts himself, the way he behaves, the way he leads, the way he presents himself, in every sense, Kane Williamson is a genuine role model that we have in our times. And frankly, he's leading a team. Yes, Ross Taylor, injury scare, BJ Watling, and all of that. But he does have a team which is a fantastic side. Does have a side, a Jamieson, a Saudi, a Bolt, a Taylor, whether it, despite the injury scare, a Latham, Williamson himself. And if you take a look at that team, Henry Nichols, it is a genuinely good team. On the other hand, the Indians, maybe, because of the conditions, the swing, whatever it is, New Zealand might just sort of have a little bit better handle on the conditions. But the fact that India will now, because of the IPL, travel early, and if the quarantine allows them to train, India will have enough and more time to train and get ready. Yes, we are on the red list and all of that, but hopefully they will have some fruitful sessions. Otherwise, Kane Williamson's team is an incredible side that will take on India. So, as I said, both these people are on the cusp of history, and that's why it's history at the Aegis Bowl. Because either side, this is look, whoever wins it, winning the inaugural WTC, will it happen again? In what form? Everything is up in the air. But winning the inaugural WTC in the midst of a raging COVID pandemic will never happen again in world cricket. In every sense, 2022 will see a better world. We have every possibility of dealing with COVID better. So, in the middle of all this, imagine what this will do for in India. On the other hand, to have this final and win it for New Zealand after having lost the World Cup final in that fateful manner, what will this mean for Kane Williamson and his side? In every sense, it is history. In every sense, we will have drama. In every sense, the Aegis Bowl is set up for a dramatic finale for what promises to be a classic encounter. Now, what does an ICC trophy mean for a Virat Kohli? He's spoken to me about it multiple times, and I've interviewed him umpteenth number of times. Take a look at Virat Kohli talking about an ICC trophy win and what it means, and I'll come and tell you a few stories. Trisha, can we have the Virat clip, please?
You could look at winning an ICC tournament like an obsession or like a wish that people have, which is a beautiful thing to wish for, because it is seen at a global level and every cricketer would want to win that. But if you ask me honestly, I mean, I didn't ever think that I would be part of the winning World Cup team in my first World Cup. True. Or 2 years down the line we'll win Champions Trophy as well. So I never thought of these things, but it happened. So it was meant to happen for us. But I think in hindsight you can look at a lot of things. We obviously have the desire to win big tournaments, big series, and we want to give our best effort possible. But if you focus on things which are only based on success and numbers and results, I don't think you can enjoy the process. And we as a team, we play so well because we enjoy the process. We enjoy being in difficult situations and coming out on top. Basically what we are doing on a daily basis is competing with ourselves. How good can we be when we are put under pressure? It's not about coming up against someone or trying to prove someone else wrong. It's about bringing our own standard of cricket higher and higher on a daily basis and setting examples, the right examples for the next generation to take over whenever that happens. I hate losing in anything. That is how a sportsman is made up. That is the makeup of any sportsman competing at the highest level. So that's a given. No one is fine with losing or fine with failing. You accept it, you process it, that's different. But the most important thing for me in anything I do on the field is I don't want to walk out and say, maybe I could have done this. I don't want any maybes, I don't want any what ifs. When I step onto that field, it's a privilege, it's an honor for me. And when I walk out, I want to have zero energy left, because that is what I'm supposed to do. That is why I'm selected. I'm not selected because I'm privileged or I should be comforted because I've reached the highest level. No, however hard I've worked for age group cricket, this has to be a constant 10 times hard-working process on a daily basis, because I'm representing my country and there couldn't be a bigger honor for me. So I understand the importance of where I've come from and the opportunity I have every time that I step onto the field. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Like, I hate having the feeling of maybe I could have gone for that catch. Maybe I could have pushed an extra yard for an extra run. I somehow can't process. So I'm actually always trying to avoid that feeling, and that's why I go along about my work in a crazy manner where I just have to put all my effort into every ball that I play, field, or I'm a part of.
If you just sort of hear that interview, and I vividly remember the way he was speaking to me, that he used to imagine this moment in his dreams that he would get an opportunity to take India over the line in an ICC semi-final or a final and a critical game, and that New Zealand game may have given him that opportunity. And then he says maybe it was his ego talking, maybe that was a performer's ego. But then you can understand that the pain that there is in this guy in having failed in that semi-final. And that is why the battle royale has been set up. A Bumrah, a Shami, an Ishant, a Siraj, a Bolt, a Saudi, a Jamieson, a Virat Kohli versus a Kane Williamson, a Henry Nichols, a Rohit Sharma, a Ross Taylor, an Ajinkya Rahane, a BJ Watling, a Rishabh Pant. It is a tremendous game. And that is why I think history will actually be scripted by one of these teams. And I will not take my eyes off the Aegis Bowl. I will not. We will build this up. And two larger than life figures coming across each other, trying to take each other on, trying to outdo each other in early summer England with great weather. Hopefully there'll be some people if the opening up 22,000 people at the FA Cup final. It'll be a cracker. And what will it mean for COVID ravaged India? I have goosebumps. Can't wait for that World Test Championship final and the England series to happen. Tremendous for world cricket. And that's why I think to a large extent, yes, there will be other players, a Rohit, a Gill, an Ajinkya, Cheteshwar, Hanuma, or maybe Hanuma if he doesn't play, Jadeja and Ashwin. But it will also be a battle between two leaders. It will be a battle between two charismatic champions who are the two best of our era. Can't wait. I mean, that is why I thought we will do this show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I love bringing it to you because the more I think, having sort of spoken to these two guys several times, it is the best that world sport can actually bring to us. Now to the few news points that I want to mention before I close my show. First, I just want to mention a few people here. Mufaddal Vora, a social media influencer, puts out cricket news diligently, watches this show, gives feedback. Thank you very much for watching it diligently. Crick Crazy Johns or whatever your handle is, you put out some very heartwarming comments yesterday about the content on Sports Today. Appreciate it, because the content that is produced on Sports Today in terms of news, in terms of breaking, in terms of interviews, there's a lot of hard work that goes in. So when people like you who diligently put out sports news and cricket news, watch it and appreciate it, feels good, because that's what it is all about. This is a platform for you all. It is not for me personally. Now coming to the women's game, I'm putting it on record. Ashika Pandey and I had a very long chat yesterday. I found her a fascinating woman to talk to. I've talked to her in the past, but that's not in as much detail. I found her incredible. I mean, an Air Force person, the kind of dignity, discipline with which she was talking to me, I found it absolutely amazing. She asked me, "Sir, can you keep it confidential?" So I will. She's also promised me that after the England series, she and Julan will come on the show on Sports Today together. So I will keep that wish. I mean, I actually respect that from Shikha, that let us do something in that test match and the white ball series, and we will come on your show together. Absolutely delighted. I want to put it on record that Rima Malhotra, Ajaya Sharma, a lot of people associated with the women's game have sent personal messages, having watched the show, having commented on the show, means a lot. I mean, people are watching. People, when Lisa tweeted about Veda, we can tell you this, that Sports Today will be a platform that will ask the right questions, come what may. We will ask the right questions. We will be your voice to take these questions to the powers that be. And if there is a cabal, like there is in women's cricket, I promise you, we will break that cabal. Whether it is the selection committee, whether it is former players trying to influence like they have done for ages, don't care. because frankly, you know, I don't need interviews from any of you, no favors done. We'll speak the truth, what we believe in on Sports Today. So, whatever we feel is right, we will say. Whatever we feel is ethical, we will say. And we don't care. We really don't care. We're not scared. Sports Today never will be. That is the principle of journalism that we stand for. I will finish off on this, and as I said, history at the Ages Bowl will continue. For a few days, I have not given you stories. I will tomorrow. Think about it. Our Indian team now, you know, uh, uh, at the times of COVID, the country doesn't have anything. We are struggling for basic medicines and beds and hospitals and oxygen beds. 1971 Indian team going to the West Indies. 2 days before the game, they did not have their kit. The first class game, they did not have their kit in Jamaica. They were told that the kit has not arrived from New York, and the story was incredible. I mean, the players had landed, and this is not today that you will get it overnight. So they couldn't practice, they couldn't get ready. But even in that series, India showed indomitable spirit and went on to win. And that is why I believe this country is unique. Can they script history at the Ages Bowl? We will see. But such stories and plenty more. We will take characters, and characters make our sport. So today was Virat and Williamson. And we will celebrate Williamson. Mr. Vaughan, we will keep celebrating Williamson and keep saying he's one of the best, if not the best. And no one will troll us. If they do, we don't care. That's how Sports Today will conduct itself. I hope you're enjoying the content that we are putting out on Sports Today. So do subscribe to the platform, support us, because ultimately, as I said, this is for you. Thank you very much for watching.